This is not a channel for children. Joe 30 pack welcomes you, but be advised, foul language and alcohol use is rampant. Viewer discretion is advised. Gnome sane?
Motherfucker. Never fails. Hello. Furiously masturbating to internet pornography. What are you doing? Oh yeah? What are you wearing? Oh, cool. Yeah, dude, I'm working on your thing right now. The fucking fuel pump's not pumping. I don't know if you fucked something up when you changed that gasket or if the thing's just shit, but I'm pulling her apart right now. So give me 15, 20 minutes and I'll give you a call. I don't know how much it is. You bought the fucking thing. Told you, man. Cheap things aren't good and good things aren't cheap. Why'd you fucking buy a beefy ass needed... Oh, what the fuck, man? Did you do? You replaced the gasket on this thing? It's dry as a fucking bone, and it looks like fucking Rocky Dennis's face. That's what's the matter. Let me fucking call you back, dude. This thing's fucked. Hey, folks. Welcome back to the home shop. Now, I know I promised you that I was going to clean off the bench and all that. Before you say, you know what, fuck this guy. I'm tired of his bullshit. Always running his mouth about he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Something way cooler came in than that little valve job on that Briggs & Stratton 3.5 or 5 horse, whatever the fuck it was. I'm going to share with you guys. We've got from the land of cheese, beer, and serial killers. 40 horsepower. The most fucking A cast iron you're ever going to run into. The VH40, the Wisconsin. So I don't know how many videos are out there on this particular engine, but it's running a Vermeer stump grinder. Fucking stump grinder? Fuck yeah, I got like 3 stumps I got to grind too, so this is perfect. And I got another house that needs a bunch of tree work. I got like 13 trees. They're all shit trees like silver maples and ash that need a bunch of work, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to play a little tradesies with this guy. So, let's check it out. Oh, fuck yeah. Look at that beast. Check out the reference. Holy shit. I don't even know if you could call this a small engine. It's air-cooled, cast iron block. It's got aluminum heads. It's a 4-cylinder, but won't run right. I guess it starts and runs. Guy's got a bunch of money into it. I love it when a job starts like this, too. Right out of the guy's mouth. Well, hey, this is what it's doing. It's not running right. It just totally falls on its face. But it's not the coil. It's not the cap. It's not the rotor. It's not the spark plugs. It's not the wires. It's not the car. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Why didn't you just call me? Well, could have saved him a whole lot of money because I'm pretty sure it's a fuel starvation issue. But we're going to find that out right about now. So first, for you guys that don't know about these things, a little nomenclature. We got our fuel pump, which is suspect because it's sweating and it shouldn't be, and it looks like it's been dripping and it shouldn't be, and also it's new. New guy or owner, do-it-yourselfer, put the fuel pump on and then had to replace this gasket afterward, he said. So that tells me that something's up with the fuel pump. Now, we're going to get started first and see what it's actually doing. I want to verify a couple of things, but I got a few tricks for you. Anyway, see these covers here? There's one for each cylinder, and there's a little nut and bolt, if I'm not mistaken, in there that go into the lifters, and you can adjust the valves, valve lash on these things pretty easy without pulling them like the old L heads, because this is an L head. It's not overhead cam. So we've got fuel pump suspect. We know it's not ignition parts unless the guy fucked that up. But another thing I noticed is yesterday when he started it for me to show me what it was doing, I went to go pull this cap after it was running for just a couple seconds and it went. Well, that tells me something too. This is the wrong cap, which obviously it's the wrong cap because it's not yellow, but this has to be vented. Anytime you open up a gas tank and you hear a sucking noise, excuse me, you know, I think you know what I'm getting at. If you hear some kind of a vacuum, some kind of a void inside the tank, it's a good idea to check this cap and see if it's venting, because it's probably not. Now, some of the smaller ones will have a little vent hole up here. This one's just kind of venting through this little device. I'm not really sure where the air is supposed to go in, but I guess it's supposed to go up around the bottom of the gasket through these little slits right here. These little, I don't know what you call those. In the field, we call them tits. So, only way I know of to check this thing, wipe it off, pucker up, and give it a big old draw like it's a fucking cool menthol cigarette and see what it looks like. It's pretty tight. Not venting well. Not well enough for me anyway. Now here's a little trick for you baby birds. If you've got a really heavy machine and you got no way to move it around, just use leverage. Pry bar, 2x4, whatever. I just need to nudge this so that cutter's out of the way of my toolbox and all my garage sale clothes. Oh yeah. Alright, we're in a safe position to start this thing because that's probably got a little static tension on the belt and she's prone to rotate. Don't know, but be safe. That thing will fuck you up, man. Okay, choke, start button, key. 34.79 on the hour meter. This thing's got rode hard and put away wet, man. Contact. Oh, shit. Okay, first things first. Shoot it with a little carburetor cleaner. That does two things. Tests the integrity of the engine, and it'll show you if you've got ignition. So, give her a little whip. Right into the intake's fine. It'll go through the filter just fine. Oh yeah, and anybody that tells you starting fluid is no good for an engine, they're full of shit. It's fine. Oh, come on, baby. Come on, honey. Okay, that means the throttle's wide open. Okay, she's dying on the battery side. So, yeah, you can run it on this for a little bit just to try and get the fuel pump pumping enough fuel up to the carburetor so it starts running on its own. But we know a couple things from what I just did. First of all, I'm going to get a bunch of comments saying, dude, you're fucking smoking the cylinders. Second, I'm going to get, no, man, I seat tire beads with that shit all the time. It's totally safe. Start fires, whatever. But, third thing we found out for sure is that the engine's fine. You heard it purring on all four. Now here's another trick that I want to show you. While you're troubleshooting this, it's very important when you have a twin-cylinder engine, or in this case a four-cylinder engine, you treat each side like it's its own thing. And in this case, we're treating each cylinder like it's its own thing. So here's a good trick for checking cylinder balance when you're in the troubleshooting process. We shot it with a little ether. Sounded like all four were going. But you check it with the sticky infrared thermometer from La Casa De Gresa. Point it right at the heads. We got 83. This head, 83. This head, 83. This head, 83. So, now we know that all the cylinders are basically balanced. Everything's doing the same amount of work. So it's got a big old beefy fuel tank. He was complaining to me that the fuel filter wasn't full of fuel, but now it is, and it's been sitting here all night. It really is the first time my house has smelled like gasoline in a long time. I used to do that shit all the time. But anyway, we're going to forge on, fire it up, and Step number 2 in troubleshooting is to verify the complaints. Step number 1 in troubleshooting, know the system. Alright, this is a gravity feed to a fuel pump that's going to feed the engine through a carburetor. Okay, so I know the system. 2, verify the complaint. See if the guy is telling you what's really happening is what's happening. 3, determine what you think is wrong and make a few tests. Now that could be a bunch of different stuff. In this case, I got to verify the complaint still, but I'm going fuel for sure. And then 4, make the necessary repair. See if that fixed it. If it didn't, you were wrong. 5, have a beer. Hey man, you know what I think? I think it's not getting any fuel, man. I think you fucked it up. Okay, so we're going back to my original thought. I got wetness here, and it smells like water. Might be water in the gas, man. It's leaking out. Might be condensation from cool fuel in here in the hot garage all day. But I want to take this clamp off, put a fuel pressure tester on here, and see how much fuel is squirting out. Now you could just check this if you were in the field and you didn't have your fuel pressure tester by taking this off, giving it a crank, and seeing what the squirt's like. If it's squirting like Peter North, it's good. If it's not, it's bad. So I got the tool. I think I'll see if I can dig it out of the box there. Now we'll put that on and see what kind of fuel pressure we have. Should have maybe 5-6 pounds, something like that. And then on this side, you're supposed to have a certain amount of suction. Same thing, a little bit of vacuum, I'm not sure, but don't forget, we still got a shitty vent on this gas cap for sure. This thing's hard to draw from. So this might actually be working. I'm going to leave this cap off for this test. That way we're ruling out the vent on this thing. It usually takes 5 to 10 minutes to neutralize the vacuum in the fuel pump, or in the fuel tank I mean, when there's a bad cap, and it'll restart for a second, then a void develops in the tank, and then fuel won't flow. But this thing's almost full. Guy said he just put 10 gallons in it, so I'm just going to leave the cap off for this test. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm laying down. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Well, fuck me with the wrong end of an oboe. It looks like I don't have one. Bought probably 4 or 5 over the years. Oh, god damn it. I know it wouldn't be in this bottom drawer. Okay. Peter North test. Now normally I would be using a 1/4 inch nut driver on this, but I can't find that either. Man, my fucking tools got so fucked over at the Casa De Gresa. Everything's still sticky, nothing's organized. I haven't got shit accomplished since I moved out of that place. Anyway, when you're doing this kind of a test, make sure that you understand that if you squirt gasoline onto a hot exhaust manifold, you're probably going to burn your house down. So this is cold to the touch. I'm just going to give it a little squirt if it does anything at all. I suspect this pump might be bad. Well, nothing dripped out. Let's see what happens. Give it a big reach. Big reach. Just a bump. Come on, baby. God damn it. Gotta turn the key on. Just a bump. Fire extinguisher. Close. Eyes, ears, move your beers. Oh, shit. I'll get the sideways close-up in there for you guys. I don't see fuck all coming out of there. Fuel pump's bad. Alright, well I guess that sums it up. Guy said he replaced the fuel pump, but it ain't pumping shit. So, next you gotta go back and see if the line's clear to the tank, which I presume it is, because it was running yesterday. He said he changed this gasket. Maybe it's sucking air from here instead of drawing fuel. It is a brand new part, and it's from Napa, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's high quality and that it's going to work. But further testing is required. This video is going to get long. I will keep you guys posted. I on the repair, and we'll get this thing running. And then we're going to grind some fucking stumps. Yeah! Thanks for watching. Now, I was just taking a victory lap, and I realized this troubleshooting's not complete. I really got to show you guys the proper way to troubleshoot this. Now, granted, the fuel pump isn't pumping, and we have fuel present here, and it's a brand new filter, and there's good gas. But you got to check first to make sure that it's flowing out of the tank properly. And, of course, it would be more important to even do this up on the other end of this hose, making sure that this hose isn't clogged. But I'm just going to, since I already got gas smelling up the house, and the squaw's a little mad about that, I'm just going to check it like this. Oh yeah, we got plenty of flow. So, pump's bad. I was right. Sorry about that. Should have showed you guys the right way to make sure. So, I'm still skipping the step of this hose being plugged, but I fucking doubt it. Again, thanks for watching. You guys rock. Share and subscribe if you would.